I am Andy Drake, and welcome to the Rum Regret Podcast. Welcome to the Rum Regret Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am Andy Drake.
Johanna Myers.
Nate Tussey, and we drink and we know things.
And tonight we are going to give our review of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, but we are also going to review a movie that dropped on Paramount Plus a week ago, I think. We are going to talk Jackass Forever. And I wish we could have had a camera on Nate for this.
Yeah, Jackass Forever, a.k.a. all the old dicks and scrotums that you never needed to see.
Right.
Well, I wouldn't say you never need to see them. Come on.
Children, you might have needed to see them. Andy and I never needed to see them. It cannot be unseen.
Newsflash, we've seen all their dicks and scrotums well before this movie.
But
right.
not this dry-aged, okay?
We almost hashtag dry-aged scrotum.
Dry-aged.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Dry-aged scrotum and kaiju cock.
Right. Yeah. But before we get into those, let's roll through our segments. Joe, do you have a horror corner for us?
Yes. So I watched a movie called Martyrs, which it was originally a French film made in 2008, which I wasn't really aware of until after the fact. Then it got remade in 2015. So I watched the remake of it, and it's really, really good. And I want to go back and watch the French version because I'm sure that's even better.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But, it's about a woman or a girl, like a young girl wakes up in chained to a chair and whatnot, and she somehow escapes. And then it cuts to her as an adult, and she was in, or actually, no, sorry, I've gone too far. She goes to an orphanage and befriends. Well, she makes one friend. She's like the silent girl that was abused, and nobody wants to talk to her. So she makes a friend.
Sure.
Later on, when they're adults, the girl finds the people that have abused her and exacts her revenge on them. And there's some shifts and twists and turns. And
oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a really interesting movie and a lot of good body horror.
So, okay. Oh, nice. Okay.
Which I'm hoping the French version has even more of, because
right.
It's like full-on revenge porn then?
A little full-on revenge porn, but also a supernatural twist.
Ooh.
Okay.
Go on.
You have to watch the movie, Nate.
Right. Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, but it's called Martyrs.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I will definitely check that out.
And, you can watch it, I think, on either Hulu or Amazon Prime.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I got halfway through a movie called The Bunker Project, which is it is a and it's a little slow moving, which is why I'm halfway through. I had to stop and I had to move on to some other things before I could finish. Actually, Xander was on his way home, and I can't be watching horror movies, obviously, when he jumps into my office here and there. But yeah, it's this sort of weird movie about this live action role play in a bunker about I don't know, Nate, have you seen this?
No.
Okay. So yeah, anyway, and it's basically they're reenacting if the Nazis won, and if they're having all this, so they're really going to town, but then the electrical happens in the bunker and they need to get out, and there's the group of people that organize it, and they're sort of stuck in the bunker trying to figure out what happened to their friend who didn't meet up with them on time. And so I had to stop right at the point where it was starting to get to the horror part.
Right.
So I'm anxious to finish it because it was just getting to the really, really good part. So yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, anything else, Joe? Horror corner?
Something, well, not so much horror, but kind of horror adjacent. I thought this was an April Fool's joke, but I guess A24 is making a Marcel the Shell with Shoes on movie.
Right. Yeah.
If you remember those YouTube videos from back in the day with tiny little Shell doing his interviews with his shoe.
Yep.
Oh my God. I remember Gina and I just dying over him because he's so cute and just so squeaky and awesome. But yeah, horror great A24 is going to make this, so it's probably going to be creepy as hell.
Nice. That's
Very
great. Cool. Yeah.
I got a little ad for the horror corner, not horror at all, but
do it.
Addie and I started watching Ghosts on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Based on your suggestion. It's hilarious.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
I think we're really only like 2 or 3. Well, that's not true. We got so hooked on it that I think we did like 5 episodes straight.
Oh, nice.
So it was like 11:30 and it's, Eddie, you have to go to bed. But Dad, I don't care if it's spring break tomorrow. You have to go to sleep.
Right.
Like the Yeti Walking Dead in the morning. Just don't talk to me.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, we love it. So we're actually going to continue that later. And then
nice.
What else? Oh, we're watching. I got her on the Nolan Batman started. I got her started on the Nolan Batmans. So tonight is The Dark Knight. So,
all right.
I'm excited for that. We'll see how that goes.
That is very cool.
Excellent. She really loved the first one.
Yeah.
And like Katie Holmes in it is just, man, I miss Dawson's Creek Katie Holmes before she was, Scientology to death.
Right. Yeah.
Is she still alive?
She's still alive, yeah.
No, she's still, yeah.
Get a health check on her?
She was hanging with Jamie Foxx for a bit there officially, and then he unofficialed her because he's Jamie Foxx. And yeah, man, I'm not like that. He's just player's got to play. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man,
literally, that was his quote. It didn't sound that white, but yeah. Shocker.
Right.
Let's see. I think that's all I got as far as. Yeah, that's stuff.
All right. Streaming selection of the week. So keep it on the Paramount Plus tip. Star Trek Strange New Worlds dropped a bunch of single character trailers as well as their full trailer, and dude, they
pretty good.
They are hitting sort of all of the notes that you want to hit for a Star Trek series right now. They are even using the same transporter sound that the original series used.
Well, damn right. Why would you change? I mean, maybe enhance it a little bit so it's not as one note, but damn it, that's amazing.
Well, no, the graphics have completely updated for the transport graphics, but the sound is the same, which is great. And they are, a lot of the characters that are on this Enterprise are characters that were introduced in the first season of Star Trek or in the pilot that ended up becoming the Menagerie. So,
no way.
So this is my excitement level for this show is officially through the roof at this point.
You turned up to 11-0.
Right, yeah. Several people have put all of the character trailers together. If you want to check them out, they're on YouTube. But I am so Star Trek blind right now that I am just hyper focused on catching up with Picard and just counting the moments until Star Trek Strange New World starts. So
yeah, and speaking of Picard, you saw that news story I sent you, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, and it's funny because they have littered the cast. They've littered some of the old cast through these seasons already.
Right.
So,
does that mean they're jumping back into like the Next Generation timeline potentially?
Well, they've been in it. I mean, it's Picard's story, so it's.
Well, I thought there was time traveling.
Well, there is. So this season, they're doing a mix of sort of Back to the Future versus crap. Well,
versus Highlander. Number one. There can only be number one, number two, number one. Wait.
Well, I had this. I thought of this line earlier, and I completely blanked on it. So, and that's just me being me. So, but they are. So they had to go. So Q zaps them into this possible future, right? Of a alternate timeline where the Federation basically becomes a totalitarian like ruler of the universe, right? And Picard is one of the hands of that future. Okay. And so it's one of those things where we have to go to the past to fix this. Right. And so, but the first season of Picard, Riker Data and Troy. Well, Troy was only in one episode, but Riker and Data played heavily into the story. Riker in a few episodes, but Data was a mainstay through the whole thing. And Brent Spiner continued his arc of playing the Soons, the guys who developed the androids, right? And ancestors of, and he's even playing a different Soon in this
of course he
timeline, right?
He better be getting paid triple, like for Q and that and Soon and
yeah. So
right on. Make his A.
Yeah, and so yeah, Brent Spiner has been in both seasons. This season they brought back Guinan, which is Whoopi Goldberg, who was in The Next Generation.
Yep.
And so
all I want to know is there going to be a Wesley Crusher cameo?
Right. Yeah. So, well, and it's funny too because Will Wheaton is running the Ready Room, which is the after show special for all of the Star Trek series right now.
Oh, nice.
So he gets to talk to the whole cast and everything. So he's very much still part of the universe while not being in. But no, they were that like, and everybody asks him like, well, when do you get to be in Picard, or when are you going to get your own show? Because like a Wesley Crusher spinoff would be a pretty smart show because the way that they left his character was really fun. But then they brought him back in one of the movies to be. I could go all night on Star Trek, obviously, but
sounds like you need to have another podcast to Star Trek.
Yeah, right. But it was cool because 2 of the episodes of Picard this season were directed by Leah Thompson. Lorraine McFly, Back to the Future.
There you go.
So,
thank you for connecting those dots because like Leah Thompson.
Hey,
can't help you.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, it was very cool. And again, I am, like I said, I'm so Star Trek blind right now. I'm just like totally hyper focused on it. So
right on, man.
That's it for the streaming service selection of the week. Nate, how's that Marvel Minute looking?
It's looking good. It's it's no Chris Pontius, but it's all right. It's not going to ravage a whole city and cover a bunch of army guys. Yeah, God damn, I can't unsee that fucking.
I know, really.
Jesus Christ! We'll leave that for the rest of this. Let's see. So Marvel Minute's actually going to be rather abrupt today.
Okay.
I just actually went through and kind of picked through the stories that I wanted to talk about from the last couple of weeks. So Marvel Studios officially starts filming Disney Plus Halloween special under the working title Buzz Cut. So it doesn't say what property it is, but it says Disney Plus special. So I'm hoping they just pull everything into one like special and have cameos and just be super corny.
Okay.
They wouldn't do that, but I would love for them to do that.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there.
Okay.
So Moon Knight premiere just happened, and it beat most of the Disney Plus premieres as far as how many people it reached. The only shows it didn't beat was Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Loki.
Okay.
So you were pretty right on about that intro. Impact. Let's see. RDJ, I Am Iron Man. He's going to reboot Sherlock Holmes as 2 different series on HBO Max, apparently. So he's already is officially reported as the EP, and everyone's assuming he's going to star in it, which would make sense because he was Holmes, and I think I really liked his take on Sherlock Holmes. Actually, that was fun.
Cumber Husband did it better.
Well, I mean, he's British, but yes, I still enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the like breakdown of the fight scenes and how it showed his mind working through like the way to counter all the guys' moves that he was assuming he was going to make based on the way he walked up to the fight, kind of thing. So it was very, very, very good visual translation from what happens in the original books. So I'm interested to see what happens there. Let's see. So Captain Kirk, Chris Pine criticizes Star Trek for trying to be like Marvel. This is a really clickbaity article. It's basically taking him completely out of context. The only thing that he really kind of, he doesn't even give them shit. He basically just says, don't make movies trying to make $1 million or $1 billion like Marvel does, because they're like mark for every movie is $1 billion at this point. But don't do that, because that's ridiculous. Make the movie for the people making the movie and the audience that you want to see the movie. And if more people come to the show, come to the party, then great. But don't set out trying to make $1 billion, because that's just ridiculous. You have to water down your property so much to appeal to such that broad of an audience that you end up losing some of the good stuff.
I'm interested to see the full context of this interview.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. It's
okay.
actually really good.
All right.
Let's see what else we've got here. Reportedly, there's tons of improv in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 that's making it into the dailies and making it into like potential final cuts. James Gunn apparently wants to out James Gunn from all the rumors. So we'll see what happens there. I'm super excited for that. That's going to be great. That doesn't matter. So She-Hulk apparently on Disney Plus looks like it's going to set up Jessica Jones in the MCU. Hopefully they stick with Ritter, because she really kills it. But apparently in the comics they know each other, and Jessica Jones did some PI work for the She-Hulk character because she's a lawyer. Okay. So she hired Jessica Jones apparently in several different issues, and there's the whole relationship, kind of friendship thing that builds with them. And so hopefully we get Jessica Jones in the She-Hulk series, which would be super cool. What else? Oh, wait, I forgot this part about the Moon Knight thing. So Moon Knight actually hid a QR code in one of the scenes in the museum, and if you scan it with your phone, you get a free comic book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's the scene where the girl is talking to him about, did it suck when you got passed on in the Book of Reeds or whatever, that whole thing where she disses him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Towards the beginning of the movie, if you look in the background, there's a QR code, and you can scan that and get a free Moon Knight comic on your phone or whatever.
Oh, wow. So sorry, that made me think of something. So in the last episode of Picard, Q actually needs something from Dr. Soong, right? So he takes over his computer and 3D prints a card with a very cool Q on it, and then a phone number that isn't a 555 number, right? And so you call the number, and it's Q.
Nice.
On the other line, basically saying, "Hey, you've reached the Q continuum. We knew you were going to call, so don't even bother leaving a message." Blah 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 blah. So
they should have said, "Why don't you tell me the name of the movie you want to see?"
Right. Yeah.
You've reached QV phone. Oh. Come on.
Right.
See, it doesn't write itself. I mean,
Ayo.
Yeah, let's see. So last thing, we did that. We did the Morbius. Addie was super excited to see it. She's at the Twilight vampire age, and so has read all the books and absorbed like multiple times. She's devours those things. So anything vampires and pretty men, she's pretty men, pretty ladies, actually both. She's into. So we went and did the Morbius thing. It was this is when I wanted to play the TikTok.
Right.
Eggy on TikTok, man, she fucking nailed it. So to summarize, if I can remember it correctly, do you remember that time between like 2000 and just before Iron Man, like 2000 and 2006 maybe, when most of the movies were like rom-coms or just comedies and everything else was kind of shit? And you went into like an action movie, and it was fun. You had a good time. It wasn't going to win an Oscar, but you had a great time with it.
Right.
That's what Morbius is like. It's not good, but you end up having a good time.
Okay.
So the narrative is all over the place. The first act is pretty strong. You get engaged with the character. Jared Leto actually does a good job acting in this.
Okay.
You really believe his character. You really want him to succeed. Matt Smith is fucking brilliant and steals every scene he's in until like Act 3, when it just gets fucking retarded. Sorry. Let's edit that out. It gets stupid. Oh, good Lord. That's not good. And let's see what else. It's fun. It's a cool kind of very true to the comic book, down to his purple jacket and that kind of thing. They do show blood, which is not a Marvel staple, even though this is a Sony movie.
Right.
Obviously, you have to show blood. It's a fucking vampire flick. But like I said, first act super strong. Things kind of start to go in a bunch of directions in Act 2, and then the finale is just like, Jesus, I can't focus on all the special effects and
Oh yeah.
what happened there. Why did that matter, and all that. But overall, I wish I had looked up her name. His love interest in that movie absolutely nails it. And
Okay.
damn it, I really should have looked that up. And it's on the list here, and we'll fix it in post, maybe. But definitely the movie. There's 2 post-credit scenes, and they're both pretty impactful as far as the MCU goes. So I don't know if you guys care if I talk about them. It's not really spoiling anything, but
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
Andy,
Go for
yes.
it.
No,
Okay,
go for it.
so now I'm trying to think. Okay, so the first one is Michael Keaton in a jail cell, and he's like, what the fuck? Right before that, you see the purple tear in the sky, which happens in the Spider-Man movie or whatever. You know, the multiverse thing rips apart. So basically, Toomes, who's the Vulture in the Spider-Man movies, gets pulled into the Sonyverse. That's literally what
okay.
the whole thing is about. And because they don't know who Adrian Toomes is in that world, they're forced to release him. They don't know who the Vulture is. They don't know who he is. There's no evidence. There's no fingerprinting. There's no nothing. So he gets released.
Oh, interesting.
Smash cut to full Vulture in his Vulture getup, meeting Morbius in the middle of the desert at 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like, we should team up and, take out this spider guy or whatever. You know, it's really bad. It's really bad. Like, the first part of it would have been okay, except for the last part, because through this whole movie, Morbius he's not like a good guy, but they don't set up anything about him hating Spider-Man or Spider-Man interfering or any of that. So this comes out of left field. It's cool to see Keaton in there, and they should have just left at that instead of the back end of it. But so that's interesting. They're definitely setting up Sinister Six, obviously, with in the Sonyverse because of Venom and now Morbius and now Vulture, and then we'll see what happens next. And then I think the second one is actually kind of a spoiler for the movie, so I'll just leave that one out. It's not important, really. It's just they do a good job of setting up a potential for a sequel if this thing does well.
Oh, okay.
And it did reasonably well. I mean, it made $40 million in the opening weekend, which is not Marvel numbers, but it's nothing to poo-poo so much. It's usually half of what like Marvel opens, and was like a fifth of what Spider-Man No Way Home opened at 200 and something million that weekend. So
yeah.
It's not pulling those numbers, but I was surprised with Leto's performance. I'm sure it was edited very well, but he did a good job. I really need to look up her name now because she needs credit. The other main protagonist, Dr. Lady, God damn it. All right. She does a great job. And then Matt Smith fucking just rules. There's so many scenes in that movie where I just laughed out loud when he's on the screen. It really helped kind of carry the rest of it. So, I think that's it for me as far as the MCU. So,
all right. So let's talk about Jackass first, and then we can jump into Tiny Tina's. Yeah. So, Joe, what was your impression of Jackass Forever?
Okay, so I'm a huge Jackass fan from way back. I'm like a CKY fan even before that. So
yeah.
I have to admit I was apprehensive of this one because of one, do we really want to see old Jackass?
Yeah,
right.
And two, all the Bam Margera drama, unfortunately.
Right.
And then new people. I don't like new people.
Can you tell us what the drama was for the people that don't understand what's going on?
Yeah, so Bam Margera, after losing his best friend Ryan Dunn, rest in peace, Ryan Dunn, we love you, went into a very, very bad alcoholic spiral. And So I don't. There was a couple movie. I think there was one other movie he wasn't in. That wasn't an issue, but he was supposed to be in this movie, and they gave him kind of like ground rules, and he had to sign.
Oh
like
wow!
You have to be clean and sober, and
Sure.
you have to function and show up to work.
Right.
Yeah.
And he didn't. So he is actually in the movie for a split second. He is in
really?
the marching band.
Oh no!
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So he's second, right behind Johnny Knoxville, going down the marching band.
Oh wow! Okay.
And then in the end, you see him obviously in the old school footage.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, he like they fired him, and he went berserk, and was like made a big stink out of it, and tried to sue and whatnot. And,
Oh wow!
but I mean, it's like if you're on his Instagram, you can kind of see like he's not. Like he'll go through periods of sobriety, and then he'll fall off the wagon and post these really just kind of shitty Instagram videos. And
it's terrible.
Like he was telling his fans to boycott this movie and fuck Jackass 4 and
Jesus.
Yeah, so that kind of was just like, oh man.
Yeah.
But all that being said,
Right.
I like as soon as it started, I was like, all right, we're right back. I love it. I'm here for it. This is fantastic. All the old dicks and scrotums aside.
It didn't skip a beat at all. It just got older. That was it.
Right.
No, it's exactly the same Jackass. Even without Bam, I'm like, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
So I love it. And so that's proof for me is just like, I'm always going to be here for Jackass. If they make Jackass 9, 10, 11, 12, I'm sold.
Yeah, I don't know. After that hit from the bull, I don't think Johnny's making another one of these.
Yeah. No, and I think even before that, he was saying this was going to be the last rodeo, which they kind of, when you watch the movie, you can see it's like the older crew kind of grooming the younger crew and
phasing out. They literally say that at the end, like.
Yeah.
I like what you did there, though, Job, in his last rodeo after he got bald.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nate, what are your thoughts here?
Oh, Jesus Christ! I should have live tweeted this because
you kind of did.
I should have put it on Twitter. I'm going back through my chat, and it's like the first thing is "fuck this movie."
Right. Yeah.
And then after that is Jesus Christ, this dick beehive is fucking insanity. And of course they have a Grundle cam.
Right. Yeah.
Like some of the skits or whatever you want to call it, events fall flat, but then you have stuff like a perfect Wile E. Coyote wall and a BMX guy riding right into it. Like, oh my god, it was so good. Yeah, I'm not sure how much they paid to have that printed, but that was expensive. And then,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, there was way more dong than I needed in this fucking movie. Especially since they were like, hey, there's a new girl Jackass. Like, okay, cool. Maybe we can balance that out with not dong. But no. Right. I mean, if you're tired of dong, how about balls?
Are you seriously going to expect Steve-O and Chris Pontius to not get naked at any given opportunity?
I know that. Right. That's not the point. Like, if you're tired of dick and balls, how about asshole and underwater fart ignition? I did not need to see Steve-O giving birth. It was
right.
Man.
Yeah, I didn't need to see. Oh God, what's his name? Preston's nads getting just pummeled by Mike. What's that? Like a sawzall?
It's two sawzaws next to each other with boxing gloves and fake hair and arms built up all around them with the anchor tattoo. It was so gross.
The slow-mo of his balls. I'm like, okay. I didn't need that.
They put him back in after they were already like swollen out. So bad. My favorite, there was two. Let me find them. Hang on. Oh God, I did not need to see Steve-O giving birth. Jobin, how did you get through the spider shit?
The first time I watched this, I had a little bit to drink, so I kind of glossed it over a bit. But I rewatched it, and I'm like, oh yeah, fuck that.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, they get, what is it, Black Shark?
Dark Shark?
Dark Shark.
Oh yeah,
Black Shark. Done it. Dark Shark and put him in a fucking space helmet with a tube connected to the other guy and a fucking giant tarantula.
Oh my god.
That was something way different than a tarantula because like I don't think tarantulas have big gnarly fangs like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When they
They
stuck
do.
him on, I think it was Aaron McGehee. When they put the spider on his nipple and it looked like it was going to tear his nipple off.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
went super in. Yeah, that might have been. I mean, tarantulas have giant fangs, but that might have been a different breed or a bird eating whatever.
Something.
Yeah, it wasn't as big as some of the larger ones. It definitely looked like a tarantula, but fuck, that was brutal.
Yeah.
Those fangs went all the way in. Like that wasn't just a love bite. That was
it tried to get the nipple up.
Yeah,
like it was like,
sure.
oh yeah.
So I, the one where I don't know her name, but the one younger lady jackass person apparently who doesn't give a fuck, she's gonna get Botox, like nature's Botox, with a scorpion sting in her lips.
Oh, that's right.
And that was super brutal, but he dropped the scorpion and it went onto her boob, and he's like, I can't take the scorpion off your boob unless you give me permission. And she looks at him like, permission!
I give you consent.
Right? It's like, you're having it sting your face. You sure you're okay with that?
Right.
And then the bear.
Oh
God. Yeah.
Poor Aaron and the bear.
Oh my god. Poor Aaron in general. Like the rooms that it's dark with the rattlesnake and shit, they completely fuck with him. But that bear, you could see him developing PTSD and then suffering from it at the end. It was so
right.
Oh my god, it was so bad.
See, yeah, like Aaron is the guy that I think they pick on the most because like there's always a guy in the group that is just sort of in there and not like really part of the group, and I feel like that's Aaron with the Jackass guys because they seem to give him like the crap jobs.
Yeah, 100%.
Dude, the cup test. Oh my god,
cup test. Fucking hardest hitting man ever.
That like, dude, there's no way that man's having children. Like seriously, no. Aaron's junk is just for show at this point.
Yeah. That was one of the ones that was the hardest. Well, I take that back. The what was it? The when he did the jumpy thing on the
pogo stick. Oh, you like sandwiched him into the ground.
That got me.
Oh my god! I think I might throw up. Stop. That's not good.
Oh, and that right there is why I say like his junk is just for show at this point. Like there's no way there's functioning.
Yeah, It's Ngannou is the name of the boxer that like that's no lightweight. Like no shit, he hits the hardest of anybody. Right. Oh my god! Yeah, and then he shows the cup at the end, and it's broken. Like there's a giant dent where he hit it, like in the metal cup. Like, oh god, not good. No. Andy, what do you think of the cock test that was Jackass Forever?
Yeah, there's just something. I don't know. It's. I'm gonna describe it really weird, but and I don't know why I'm going to this, but it's a warm, cozy blanket. The Jackass movies that you just sort of put on and like I don't know. There's just something. I don't know. I really don't.
A warm, cozy blanket stitched from the scrotum of the fallen Jackass people. Enjoy your scrotum quilt, Andy.
Right. No, but I don't know. There's just something fun about those movies that like it's either it harkens back to funner times watching these movies with all you guys around, right? When we, at different points in our lives, all lived with each other, right? Or, but yeah, so it was a lot of that for me, but yeah. And then it was interesting just watching these guys set up the younger people for all the crap that they went through as well. But yeah, just, you don't think that they can, and you know that the whole point of these movies is to sort of outdo what they've done before, right? At some points, but to also bring back the classic ones, like the hand slap one when they were on the bike.
Oh yeah,
that was great. I love that stuff. I just that stuff. That's That's the kind of stuff that I love, and I
that
just
was
think
in my that was in my live tweeting. Like the only way this can get better is if they kill Machine Gun Kelly.
yeah,
And then he thinks he's outpacing the other guy, and that hand is going to be him, and then he gets fucking the shit knocked out of him. Oh, so close.
Yeah. So I thought that was yeah, I don't know. But again, I just like some of the stuff, it was hard to watch, especially the pogo stick on the balls. And then yeah, so I don't know. It's again, it's not going to win any awards. It's not going to, people probably aren't going to talk about it past this podcast, right? But I don't know. It's one of those movies that is, I don't know, reminds me of probably simpler times, and and will just carry that sort of it will always bring a smile to my face in way. So
yeah, it's good nostalgia.
Right. Yeah. And that
if you
that
like
was
Jackass.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That was my take on it. It was very it's the Force Awakens of Jackass.
I approve this message.
Exactly. And I think the two things that make me happy about it were I think they did and I didn't even notice it until the end when they did the cut of the old versus the new footage.
Right.
That it's it is pretty taking what they did and doing it again but better.
Right. Yeah.
And also just the vibe of it, the music is still kind of the same, kind of twangy, kind of punky, punk country-ish, I guess.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. So
yeah, and they did a really great job of keeping the vibe, even with the new people.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I totally agree, and a lot of that, I mean, and a lot of bringing in new people is sort of a hazing, and I think that they were certainly properly hazed.
Yeah, mission accomplished with George Bush on an aircraft carrier in the background.
Oh, totally.
Oh God, one of my favorite little bits, and it's like a small little thing, but just the cold brew cart of just smacking people with the little air projectile. And they got Eric Andre with it.
Yeah. Hey, can I get an autograph? It's like, oh yeah, sure. Blam.
And just seeing the guys sitting around a craft table laughing about it,
Oh yeah.
I honestly think it's stuff like that they just do for their own amusement, and if it works, they'll throw it in the movie at some point. But I think they would just do that regardless.
Yeah. At one point, do you carry around a bigger taser for when Johnny Knoxville just randomly thinks it's funny to taser you? Because it would get old real fast for me.
Oh yeah.
Well, before that, it was the trimmer. They would come up behind it and trim the back of your head.
They showed that with Wee Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
A wee man who was flying like a little angel in the triple wiki. That was hilarious. Oh my God.
Yeah. So anyway, so I think that's a good sort of stopping point on Jackass Forever.
Yeah.
Good nostalgia. The good old stuff. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep the ball rolling.
If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough.
Yeah. So let's transition into the new obsession,
Elden Ring. Yes. Okay.
No.
Damn
it. We've successfully converted Joe to a Borderlands game. I feel very confident in saying that we have gotten Joe hooked on Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Yeah, I'm a level 26 now.
Oh,
so
she plays more than I do.
Yeah,
there's that.
Yeah.
All Borderlands needed was dragons and mushrooms with little butts.
There you go. Yeah.
Mushrooms with little butts that fart on other people. The level cap's only 40, so don't go too quickly there, Jobin.
Okay.
Well,
I'll pump the brakes.
No. Don't do that. Just keep streaming and plug in Rum Regret.
Yeah.
But let us know when you're streaming, for the love of God.
Yeah. Yeah, also, Joe figured out how to Twitch stream, so...
there we go.
Yeah.
What's your Twitch handle, Joe? Throw it out.
Joe Chickadee, of course.
There you go.
Heyo.
But yeah, watch me play video games badly.
I don't know. You seem to have a pretty good grip of it when I was watching you last night there, Joe.
All right.
Yeah.
Make sure you put commentary in and turn on the chat. So if we're all in there, they can hear us, and then they can just hear you with your general, what the fuck, God, shit, like that. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't commentary. I just you'll hear the.
Nice.
So Joe, what are your thoughts on this game so far?
It is so much fun, and it actually, because I've played Borderlands, like I played 1 and 2, and it got to a point where I was like, kind of got bored. I want to say, or it became repetitive.
Yeah,
and so it's just like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna go back to playing BioShock for the 8 millionth time. But yeah, no, it's fun, and it's nice because I'm familiar with the gameplay in that respect. So it wasn't like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm like, okay, I can figure this out, and it's a nice, like, I want to say like a revamp of that game,
right?
Like I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say, like a new paint job on it.
Yeah,
right.
It's like a reboot. Yeah.
And I'm always down for fantasy, so.
Excellent. Yeah, Nate, what do you think so far?
I love it, man. So Borderlands 2 was arguably the strongest in the series with Handsome Jack, and the writing just fucking phenomenal. And I enjoyed 3, but it didn't come anywhere close, and it was just kind of a shadow of 2. I love the fact that Wonderlands is a game that was completely built off of a DLC from Borderlands 2 from like 2013.
Right.
And they re-released that as a standalone, which is great. But I had such a great time in that game. They turned grenades.
Oh, yeah.
The grenades were still there back in that expansion, but they were crazy. Like, you'd summon rains of fire and lightning bolts and all that. And it was just, they did a great job. And I think the success of that DLC really kind of gave them a little idea in the back of their head, and they've been hanging on to it for a bit.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see a dev doc on the making of this and how they got to choosing what the next Borderlands was going to be. And whoever pitched Wonderlands and Ashley Burge, man, she's just fucking knocks it out of the park with this character. I love her as Tiny Tina. And then we watched the Critical Role one shot with her as the DM.
Oh man, that was so good.
Oh fuck,
that was so phenomenal.
Great. I've watched it twice now, and I can't. It's great. I love all the characters, especially. Oh fuck, what's his name? Dewey, Decimal, whatever.
Right, yeah.
Travis's and the avatars that they made where his super nerd has a fucking thigh holster with a accountant's calculator on it.
Right. Yeah.
Fucking best. And the pie tattoo. Yeah, it's great. I love the fact they added spells to it, and everything is randomized, just like the guns and shields and everything else are, but it just adds more to that. The multi-classing aspect is really cool. I love the pet options. Great. I'm really glad that I kind of started over and played as the spell shot as my main class, which everyone can multi-class into, but it's the only class that can do 2 spells at once. You kind of give up your action skill, which for the mage is really good. You can turn something into a sheep and it floats around and other people shoot it.
Right.
And when people shoot it, it casts your spell that you have slotted from the sheep. Like,
oh, wow.
You shoot it. So it's actually, it might be a good idea for me to switch back on some of those bigger things, but it's fucking great. I'm having such a great time. And then it's the game is fun by yourself, but oh my God, when we were all on, it elevates that game to another level. And it's,
I'm just stoked I finally get to play with you guys.
Yeah,
I know.
Sure, finally.
Yeah.
And even though, rocky opening weekend, which is what happens with every game, but especially something as my brain just decided to stop working. They launched with fully working crossplay, which no games really do nowadays. And it's fucking awesome being able to play with friends on whatever console. So I'm slowly recruiting some more people.
Aside from a few hiccups, I haven't had any issues, like just the quest log hiccup.
Right.
And then like that one time we were trying to play together, we had a hard time like getting connected, and I think
Yeah,
it
and
was
that
just
was
like server issues.
yeah, and that was launch weekend too, which is kind of unfortunately kind of to be expected at this point.
Par for the course, right?
AAA title, yeah. Although Elden Ring, perfect launch, perfect game of the year. I'm calling it now. Game of the year.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, game of the year.
All right. You heard it here first on the Rum and Regret podcast.
Yeah,
Tuesday, April 5th.
There's a lot coming out too, but this game, fuck. Anyway, we'll have to do a deeper dive when somebody else plays it. But anyway,
I'm about there.
back to Wonderlands. It's fucking great. I can't wait to play with you guys again. And we got to schedule like every other whatever day or something.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I can make time for D&D every week. God damn it, I can make time for you fuckers in Wonderlands.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, no, that was a great time. I know, I totally agree with you guys. So yeah, Borderlands the series holds a special place in my heart because it was one of the first things Jamie and I did together was co-op Borderlands 1. This is when we were dating.
That's how you know she's a keeper.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And so every iteration since then, it's been tradition to sort of co-op it with her and go through it with her. So it's it's one of those things where especially now since COVID, she's not working, so I had to sort of pick up extra stuff to keep the family afloat. So the time together is not so much. So now we make time for this, and that is a big deal. That mushy stuff aside, this game is incredible. I mean, just from what you said, Ashley Birch as Tiny Tina is like it's so great to have a psychotic bunker master, who just very chaotic in her. What? No, let's do that. Well, no, let's just do this, and then stuff just pops up, which is great.
Yeah,
and then. Yeah, I from the simple names of the guns to the way you move around and you finally get to customize your character where you haven't been able to do that before, right? And so you spend more and more time with you get to unlock those customizations, which is just it's a whole new element to a Borderlands game that you've just never ever had before,
and they're all over the place. Like they shower you with customizations, especially at the beginning, right?
Right, totally right. Like I never thought I'd have to worry about eyeliner in a game, right? Or blush, but no, we're here, and that's it. So, but yeah, no, I mean, especially for us on the split screen, the gameplay is really, really slick, and it's great. And yeah, we were able to split screen and be on with you two guys.
Right,
which was just incredible, which was just so good. So yeah, I mean, hats off to the Gearbox team for putting this together, man. And it's way too fun. And we're not even like we've probably played the less of all you guys, and we're itching to get our next time in, So yeah, it's incredible.
One of the things I noticed was like the little nerdy Easter eggs through the whole thing. Like even just like there's like little lines in the spells that it's like, the spell will blow your enemies to tiny bits in thy name, and things like that. And like I've seen Monty Python, Star Wars, and Lebowski references.
Oh yeah, and there will be more and more, and that has been a Borderlands staple for years and years and years and years.
Yeah, so apparently I need to go back and play Borderlands with fresh eyes now. And
but yes, I mean,
especially
some of the old mission names are straight up references, But they litter those all throughout, and I'm sure that will. You'll find you'll scratch the surface with a bunch of them and probably find 50%, when everything's said and done, which is great. And so, I've finished the game. I've put it down, and then I'll watch a video of, these Easter eggs were in Borderlands. And then I'm just like, okay, I got to go do those. I got to go back. I got to pick it back up and go back. So it's, no, it's really incredible. And I knew I was going to like this game out of the bat. I didn't know that I was going to like it this much and be this excited to play it. So
yeah, one of my favorite things about this Borderlands, all the cool guns and spells and everything aside, customization and all that, is the writing. They really came back on point. Like we haven't gone much farther in the main story, I think. But the side quests are all like DLC worthy areas and design and and just the quest structure and the writing, and it's fucking great. You really feel like the different biomes are different, and the enemies that you fight, like fucking land sharks and shit. Oh my god! Like
and then having an overworld that you walk through to get to the different areas, which
is pretty cool.
Well, and that's why fantasy works so well for Borderlands, because traditional JRPGs, Legend of Zelda or whatever, Final Fantasy, where you're walking in the overland and you could go through the grass, there could be more of a chance of a random encounter, and they say that. But the chaotic nature of tabletop gaming and fantasy in general lends itself so well to Tiny Tina just throwing down a boss out of nowhere.
Right.
Or having to shift gears because her plot line got derailed by whatever fourth wall breaking meta evil guy is happening right now, no spoilers. I played through that original first storyline, first mission with some other people, and they straight up went, "What the fuck?" Like they were pissed about what happens in that first main mission, like at the end. So it's really good, man. We had such a blast.
That's great. Yeah.
So Nate, as our resident D&D expert, how does this measure up to like legitimate D&D playing?
It's nowhere close. It's so much more chaotic when you're with a bunch of people. So imagine us four trying to get on, and now imagine it's 6 people trying to schedule adulting time or time away from adulting to nerd out or whatever.
I'm just talking about the gameplay.
Nothing close. This is a Borderlands game through and through. But what's great about it is like Andy was saying, the constant nods, and you were saying the constant pop culture references that you guys are getting. There's a whole nother layer of D&D references on top of it. Like, even just some of the names of the abilities, like Death Save, when you don't die and you kill something, that's directly from 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. That phrase.
Oh, nice.
So there's tons of that stuff buried. That's we're never going to find it all, basically. But good times. The multi-classing is great. I'm really glad they let you multi-class in this. So
no, that is very, very cool. Yeah. What else? Final thoughts?
We need to get back in the goddamn Wonderlands, man. So much fun.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So watch for us on Twitch. If we do all get together, but also watch Joe, because Joe's playing more. Mm-hmm. What did you guys think of Jackass Forever? Did you watch it? Are you guys Jackass fans? And if you're playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, what do you guys think of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands? Let us know. Let us know what you guys think. And hey, if you're playing, come find us if you see us online.
There you go.
Joe, where can they find you?
At Joe Chickadee on the socials, and now on Twitch TV. And JoeChickadee.com.
Yeah. Nate, where can they find you?
Actually, it's just Twitch now, Joe. Twitch TV was a retired moniker.
Sure. Avid gamer. Avid gamer, AV1D gamer. You can find me on all the socials and your gaming platforms of choice, and occasionally now on Twitch TV with Jobin.
Heyo. You can find me, Crazy Drake, on Facebook, Andrew Drake on Twitter, and Crazy Drake _56, because I have to be difficult on Twitch. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for tuning in. Like, follow, subscribe, leave a review if you feel so needed to leave a review. And until the next time, we have spoken.
Go ahead, Joe. Do yours.
If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough.
And roll for initiative.